Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Believe it or not, my channel attracts a lot of trolls. And tonight, in my live chat, one of those trolls asked me a very serious question, as serious as a troll can be, and I'd like to address it in a video. What they asked me was, how do I justify having a channel that promotes guns in a country where so many black people are afraid of guns and they find them something they object to? And they said, how do you justify that? Well, first off, if this is a troll, they're a bad troll, unless this is like a reverse troll, like there's someone pretending to be a troll, but they're asking me such a simple question that I could easily counter it just to make me look good. I don't know. Because you'd think if they're actually being a troll, they're being bad about it. Because here's the thing. First off, I am not the protector of any minority. It'd be kind of self-important of me to think that. I am not a white savior of anybody. So it's not my job to protect anyone. Also, if I just wanted to help people, it's not my job to cater to people's fears, especially if they're irrational fears. When I was a therapist, it wasn't my job to cater to them when they had irrational fears. And as someone who considers himself an activist for gun rights, it's not my job either. In fact, if I'm going to take any role in that whatsoever, if I want to be a positive influence on people, I should help them overcome their fears. I should explain to them why they have no reason to be afraid of guns. That despite the cultural reasons they may have to think that only bad guys have guns, they need to overcome that because that's a roadblock holding them back. It was never guns that held them down in the 60s and 50s. It was bad guys who had guns when they didn't have them. And the bad guys wrote laws to make sure they didn't have them. That's what held them down. It's never been guns. In fact, guns could have been a solution to the problem. When people have an irrational fear of guns, even if it's cultural, you got to be sensitive, but you can't coddle them. You have to explain to them why that's wrong. I kind of liken it to a fear of bees. If someone is afraid of bees, I have to explain to them that's irrational. A bee is not going to try to harm you. And plus, bees are very beneficial. If it wasn't for bees, we would not be able to live the life we live now. Because they are great for the environment. Just like guns are great for freedom. If it wasn't for guns, you probably wouldn't be living in the type of country you live in now and have the freedoms that you do. So the fear of guns is irrational, especially since they're inanimate objects. Even bees have more self-important, will than guns do. A bee could decide something more than a gun can, and bees don't exactly go around deciding things. They just go around being bees, and they aren't looking to hurt you. They're looking to do their job. So I kind of liken the two things together. Fear of bees, fear of guns. Makes a pretty good analogy. So it's not my job, like I said, to coddle people's irrational fears. If I care about those people, I help them overcome their irrational fears, especially if it's in their best interest. So as a therapist, I would help them overcome their fear of bees. As a gun advocate, I help them overcome their fear of guns, no matter what color they are. Plus, I think it's kind of racist almost for that person to assume that they speak for the black community, saying black people are afraid of guns. Sounds like a stereotype to me. But even giving them the benefit of the doubt, that's how you answer the question. It was a simple one. When people have an irrational fear of guns, no matter what the color of their skin, you help them overcome that fear. Just like I'm never going to tell anybody who was afraid of bees, you have to become a beekeeper. I'm never going to tell anyone who has a rational fear of guns that you have to own guns. But you do have to realize that your fear is irrational and is based on fallacies. And what would be best for you is to overcome that fear, because guns, like I said, are one of the main reasons we're as free as we are. All right, everybody, with that being said, I want to move on to gun talk. And tonight, I actually want your all's help with our topic here on Gun Talk, because people have been asking me about the Lionheart Regulus line of guns. I was completely unaware of this line of guns. I was aware of the original Lionhearts that came out, a few years ago, and all the gun channels were acting like they were the best new thing since sliced bread, as long as they were paying for advertising. and handing out free guns. But now there is a Regulus series of these guns. The original Lionhearts were made in Korea, but apparently the new ones are made right here in my neck of the woods in Washington. So people assume I'm going to know something about them. Like most things, I don't know anything about them. So I have contacted them to see if, hey, can I find a stocking dealer anywhere? But I've never seen them on a shelf. So what I'd like to know out there, does anybody out there have any experience with these? Are these something that are actually on shelves already? Or are they something that's coming? I've never seen one in person. I would love to try one. I like the looks of them. And I really like the type of trigger they have. They have that type of trigger where you cock back, you rack the slide, the hammer's cocked back, and then you actually push the hammer back down with your thumb. That engages the safety. It's just like carrying cocked and locked, but without that stigma of the hammer being back and without that irrational fear of the hammer falling from a fully cocked position and striking around. So it kind of takes that out of the equation. But it's very similar to carrying cocked and locked single action, except that when you hit the safety, when you disengage the safety, the hammer pops back. And then you're ready to fire in single action. I have that same trigger on my Tit Sauce high power clone. You rack it and then you push the hammer forward and the safety engages. And then when you disengage the safety, hammer pops back, just like on these guns. So I would really like to try one of these guns, but I don't know where to find one, and I don't know if they're even worth trying to find. So if you have any information on them or any experience with them, please let me know in the comment section below this video or email me at shootingleftofcenter@gmail.com, because this is a gun I would love to check out. Now that they're American made, I would especially like to try one. So if you have info, let me know, and then I will find one, buy it, and then let you all know what I think of it. All right, that's it for me today. But before I go, I would like to remind everyone out there, if you want to support this channel, well, actually not support the channel, because if you're paying for the product I'm producing, then you're getting ripped off. If you want to support the things we do, like TYM go on over to patreon.com, become a patron. That is the best way. I am going to look into starting my Subscribe Star up. If anybody thinks that's a good idea, should I start Subscribe Star? I already have one, and apparently I made $30 there. But I never advertised it to anyone. I don't have one. But what do you think? Should I start a Subscribe Star for people who don't want to use Patreon? I will if you want me to. But Patreon is really the best way to go if you want to support TYM. Also, when you become a patron, you get entries into the friend drawings. Friend drawing is a drawing we do once every month on the 4th. That person gets to be the friend for the entire month, and they get a gift certificate of worth up to $800 retail to spend wherever they want. I don't care what it is. If you're in a place where it's legal, I'll buy you pot or hookers. If it's legal, just nothing illegal. Questionable things? Maybe. Depends what it is. But, I'm kidding, of course. We're going to keep it legal. Just legal stuff that I'm allowed to do, but whatever it is you want to spend, I don't care if you want to buy $800 worth of crab legs out of the back of a truck next to the highway. That's you. If you want to buy $800 worth of pantyhose, that's your choice. So, like I said, for every $5 you pay over on Patreon, you get one entry every month into that drawing. But mainly I want to know, should I start a Subscribe Star? And mainly I just want to let everyone know, if you do want to support things like TYM, go on over to patreon.com and become a patron of the channel. And if you don't want to use Patreon, let me know if I should start up my Subscribe Star account. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. I hope you come back again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.